hours, and I'm really excited because I'm with a good friend of mine, 0xbeary, my fellow hackathon traveler. It's good to see you, Barry. My name is Kevin. I work in DevRel for the Graph Protocol, and I'm really excited today because we're going to have 0xbeary talk about Hypermaps, which is he won the hackathon winner for ETH Global Con for building on Hypergraph. And it's really cool application to build on Hypergraph. We just announced Hypergraph last week, actually, well, 2 weeks ago. And yeah, so he was one of the first people to hack on it, and he just did a great job. And I think he built something pretty awesome. So without further ado, I think I'll just let you take it over, and then you can maybe give a demo, workshop, whatever you want to do, whatever format works good for you.
Yeah, sounds good. Nice to be on once again. Yeah, hello everyone. So I'm Barry, and yeah, I'm a full stack, 5 years experience, and just kind of been very deep into indexing data lately. And I'll tell you like a story of the project Hypermaps. It wasn't actually my first choice to build because I was doing it global, and you know, obviously there are so many like different projects, different ideas. I came in, I was thinking like, okay, I want to do something with AI, maybe voice assistant and such. So I stayed up for like a day, and I thought, I was just going through ideas. Then I just found out like what everyone else is building, what the bounties are, and I think it's like at 3 a.m. I just like walked up to Kartik and I was like, okay, I have like 5 ideas that are like, I think some of them are terrible, some of them might be good, and one of the ideas that I laid out was basically the hypermaps, right? So it's he was like, yeah, I think this is the best one that you should do. So so the idea is basically you have a mind mapping app, and basically you start off with like a single idea. You're like, so what should I? What's a good example? Yeah, like what should I build at the hackathon, for example, right? So you could start with, okay, give me some good hackathon ideas, and you can create a tree basically with from the first question you create branches with AI. So you ask, what can I build today? And the AI will give you ideas. Okay, you could build this, or you could build like another thing. And as you create more of these branches, you can zero in on like a specific branch and go like deeper into it. Okay, if I build, for example, this thing, what else can I do with it, right? So if I'm building with ZKs, for example, it gives you like, you should build something with ZKs. You're like, okay, that sounds cool. What should I build with ZKs? What technologies can I use? How can I use these bounties? So yeah, so it's kind of like, and the reason I came up with this is because I was chatting with Yaniv, and he was like, yeah, knowledge graphs, and like this is trees of knowledge, and to me it's like instantly I was like, trees of knowledge is like, okay, mind maps, right? So that's like the first thing that came to my mind. So yeah, let me show you quickly, do a quick demonstration of what the app looks like. Presentation screen. Okay, one sec. I'll just share my entire screen real quick. Whoa, sorry. Okay, you can see this one, right? Kevin?
Yeah, looks great.
Okay,
Awesome.
good, fantastic, awesome. So just to kind of like quickly go over like all these like concepts, there's like a docs page that the guy shared, during the hackathon. You can take a look. There's a quick start, and I think one of the key concepts is so what I actually really like is the end-to-end encryption. So this is the knowledge graph SDK Hypergraph, and just the fact that you can create a collaborative space in the end, like you can really expand on your space, is really powerful. So this is a core concept of spaces. So this space is like private, which means only you can use it, and like I guess you can invite people So you can create, add members and such, but you can also make public spaces. But in this demo, we'll be just like talking about mainly like the private spaces. And yeah, I'll just quickly show you how it works. I already signed in, but you sign in with a your Geo account, and I think automatically creates a space for you, but you can join. I think you can join another space as well. But yeah, so I created private space. Private space is like it's like, I would say it's like an instance on like a Superbase instance or something, and you can basically put any object you want into it. So if I go and start the demo, 1 second. Okay, and well, sorry, I already have like a lot of stuff here, but I just want out of the way. So I create a new message, and this is basically like when you start, because I was already doing some brainstorming on it, but you say, what should I build at a hackathon, right? Okay, a crypto hackathon, maybe with no graphs or ZKs. I don't know, just throw something wild out there. You press plus. You should create a branch. It's a little bit slow because it's this is actually because it's Next.js. So when you create a new instance of Hypergraph, well, the Graph team provides a template. What's the templating engine called? Typemaps? Typegraph? Wait.
TypeSync.
TypeSync, that's the one. So you get like an instance of TypeSync, and you can basically predefine what you want your app to have, which relationships and such. It creates a Byte plus React instance, but I wanted like more power. I wanted to use Vercel AI SDK, and for that reason, I rewrote it to use Next.js basically. So you didn't see it just now, but basically I can like create another tree. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's doing something weird with syncing. Yeah, well, it's streaming because it's supposed to like stream all this data. Like, but basically with Vercel AI, you can get streaming really easily. Yeah, I don't know. It's this streaming is being weird right now. But basically, you can see like the data just like fill up in the box. Right now, it's just doing it on at the end. And yeah, so so these are some suggestions that I gave me. So as you can see, they're very similar. I would say you can also delete them, and all this data is stored on the Hypergraph basically, and you can create branches. 1 sec. Let's add another one, and you can ask a follow-up question. So this is branch A, this is branch B, right? You can say, which one do you think is the best? Okay. Oh, there it is. Now it's streaming. Okay, that's strange. Oh. Yeah, so yes, it's saying, yeah, choosing the best is, okay, well, I just want one, okay. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah, so it shows the decentralized identity verification system, okay. Yeah, and it's probably doing something with knowledge graph. And yeah, so this is how you basically create mind maps like this. Okay,
so I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in this case, all of these responses are essentially entities, yeah? And then we have these kind of relations on like how they're connected.
Exactly.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's correct. So every one of these, so this is basically a knowledge graph. So you have a root node, right? and everything is connected. So I'll show you. I'll quickly show you the schema. So this is if you go into the docs, this is the schema page. You can kind of read up more about it. But if I go into the cursor, okay. So yeah, so this is the app. So this is the Hypermaps AI. It's written with Next.js. I'll make it bigger so that it's easy to see. Let me show you. And if I go into, where is it? Schema, schema.ts. Yeah, you can see all the, so there are only two entities right now. So you have the chat message, and it has the content, it has the ID, it has the role. In our case, it's either user or assistant. So if we go back to the, sorry, if you go back to the, so this is, you have like, these are the same entity. So you have the user, and then you have the assistant, right? So same entity, just based on that type, it displays them differently. And I'm also storing the position data. So in this case, X and Y coordinates. And why it's important is if I refresh this page, what we should see when it loads. By the way, I want to also show something kind of cool. So it's just load of data, let it load. But basically what you'll see is like the position of everything remains the same, it remains intact. Just because of just because of the way it's stored on the Hypergraph. And the cool thing is,
oh, sorry, don't mean to interrupt. What was
yeah,
the process like? Because I know like the pre-built package comes with Vite. I know you're like a Next.js master. So what was the process like to move that over? Was it pretty seamless, or was that one of the hardest parts of the hackathon?
No, that's actually a great question. Yeah, it took a little, I mean, it wasn't super difficult. It took just a bit of time. Yeah, I figured because I'm not quite sure what these objects are, like the typesync generated, typesync.db. So I just generated the project with Vite, and I just kept these guys here. And yeah, so I just created a separate folder. So it was Hypermaps. So there was a Vite project, and then Hypermaps. I just created a React. I believe I actually used just a default template. So create next app. So I did a create next app, and I just ported the core logic from Vite onto the Next.js, and it just kind of worked, right? So and I was just like updating the schema. Obviously, like it was a hackathon environment, so I wasn't even sure, like, I didn't know all the details about the framework interaction. So I was just like, okay, if I just add Next.js and like copy all the logic, copy the schema logic, and just play with it, it turned out it just kind of worked. And obviously we have yeah, so we have the page, which is the main page. So you can see public spaces, private spaces. So this is the important one, right? So we can map the private space. Show you. So we're doing use spaces. So we're getting graph protocol slash hypergraph react. So hypergraph comes with like all these very easy to use hooks. And yeah, you can do private spaces, public spaces. That's how it's displayed on the main page. And in the flow space, this is where a lot of stuff happens. So you can do your CRUD operations here as well. And it's basically like using Superbase to me, or some like another managed solution where it's a framework, which is like a super high level framework where you don't really care about the details, but it's just really easy to basically really easy to use because they just take care of all the complexities of like dealing with the state. So it's just very top level. So yeah, and this is the flow spaces where a lot of this stuff happens. Let me just get back here real quick. I'm not sure why it's not loading. Let's try this again. Right. Yeah. I don't know why it's not loading. I think it's, I genuinely think it's something with, I don't think actually it's on my own, to be fair. Let's see, let's try this. Yeah, private spaces, they're just like, yeah, they just stuck, but the public spaces are fine. It's really interesting. Yeah, so it's using WebSockets, I guess, and nice thing is like if you move something on the Hypermaps grid, for example, if you change an entity, it's going to change for like all the instances. So if I had another window open on the right, which had all the which had the same space open, and if I move something on the left, it would just, you could see it update in real time on the right because everything is just in sync. And that's kind of like what makes it really easy to build collaborative apps. So for example, if you have to build like Notion or Figma, right, type app, it would be really easy with Hypermaps because it already has all these technologies built in. So that's really nice. Yeah, I don't know why the data is not getting streamed, but that's okay.
Could be something with the sync server, maybe, or
yeah, it might maybe something with the sync server because I guess sometimes it's just, yeah, I mean, I don't know what's happening in the back end, but sometimes that it happens. I'm sure it will get more stable with time. Like it's just because the public spaces work, right? So if I refresh, it's fine, but it's just the private spaces. But yeah. Anyway. All right. So.
All right, I have another question for you before you keep going.
Go
what was some of like the difficult parts of building on Hypergraph that you had to overcome? Was there anything that you like recommend for like future hackers that are going to hack on it to like kind of know? Because I know it's a lot to wrap your head around with like the concept of knowledge graphs in general, but yeah, any advice there?
Yeah, I'd say knowledge graphs are pretty straightforward. I'm not even sure if we're building, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not sure if we're building like actual like knowledge graphs in the true form yet, because, sorry, let me find it real quick. I think it's in, I don't think it's schema, sorry. Relations, right? So I'm not sure if the relations is supported yet, right? So yeah, I think I'm not super familiar with knowledge graphs myself, but the way I used it kind of similar to a GraphQL schema, right? So this is related to this. So this is kind of like, this is my relationship, right? But yeah, I would say it's very easy. To me, it's very similar to GraphQL in terms of just like, like when you build a subgraph, like you have a relationship between two entities. So for example, yeah, I don't think these ones have a relationship, but they just, it's very straightforward to me. I would say the most yeah, to be fair, like I did find building the hypergraph extremely easy. It's I guess the only thing that I had to wrap my head around was the geo, just the fact that I had to authenticate with it. And the hypergraph comes with a lot of packages installed, so Privy and other things, right? So for me, it's just if the server if there's something happening at the server level that like it doesn't load quickly enough, right? I wasn't sure if it was my machine, like I couldn't debug it very well, right? Because I just wasn't aware of like all the abstractions that are happening on the hypergraph level. But once it works, it's extremely powerful, So for example, like I showed you, the fact that it comes with WebSockets is just like, it's incredible to me. So, and the fact that, I can build all these complicated apps and not have to think about all the tech stack behind it is like, to me, it's incredible. Like on the pure engineering level, we're not even talking about publishing it to public spaces, because publishing it to public spaces is even like this layer of like extra like coolness, right?
There's another question in chat. Is it possible, like with Hypermaps, to edit like the previous prompt and then kind of in junction, like affect everything down the map?
Yes, it doesn't affect everything down the map. So the idea is you edit the prompt Because if you think about it, if you have like a really big tree, so if like 100 entities down, if you update the prompt, then all the children will have to refetch and recalculate, right? And you might lose some of the data that you really care about. So the idea actually is you create the node, right? So the user node, and then you say, give me like a hackathon idea. I want to build the Z case, and you generate like 3 children. And then you're like, okay, you know what? I changed my mind. Well, I want to build with like Hypergraph, but you want to keep the old results. So you just edit this edit the box, and you just say, yeah, okay, I want to build a Z case, and then you generate new entries, but it won't recalculate the old ones. So it's kind of like, I think it's kind of like a powerful way to like mind map, right? I think it's a more useful way of doing it. But yeah, if you wanted to, you could add the recalculation logic, like down the tree. But it's like it sounds cool, but it's probably going to use up a lot of credits.
A lot of AI credits, yeah, for sure. All right, so I have to ask another question. Did you vibe code any of this app?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, most of it is like vibe coded. I would say yeah. most of this is like vibe code, and I would say it's one of those things where it's like when it comes to vibe coding, I would say it's really important to understand the concepts. So like so my strategy usually is, especially for hackathons, is I get like, say this is a brand new documentation, right? So Hypergraph, I would throw the docs into Cursor or some other AI platform, and I would just like talk to it. Hey, can you explain to me what schema is? Can you like search online like more information about it? Just explain these concepts to me. So I kind of get a good idea of what is happening like at the top level. Yeah. So when it gives me my response, when I understand it more or less well enough, that's when I'm enough, like I know enough to be dangerous. Basically, I can come into Cursor and yeah. I kind of like I have an overview of what's happening basically, and then I do vibe coding here, and then sometimes I don't understand something, I ask you to explain it to me. But yeah, I strongly suggest, or maybe I want some ideas. So for example, a great example is the coordinates. I was thinking like, what shall I do with coordinates? Shall I store them on like the hypergraph, or shall I store them like elsewhere? Like, shall I cache it? And I was just like, AI told me like, yeah, I think like storing them in the hypergraph might be like a good idea, something like this. I don't remember exactly, but it's at that point I was like, yeah, that's actually a good idea. Why don't I just store it in the hypergraph? But even then, like if you kind of want to understand what you're doing in terms of like at least like have an understanding what's going on, especially as you vibe code. So for example, as a streaming, so because I'm using Vercel, if we go into the API, we're using Vercel AI SDK here. We are streaming like chunks of data, and you don't want to store. You saw like there was a streaming part, right? You don't want to store this data on the hypergraph, because you're just gonna kill the service, I guess, because it's just gonna keep on writing this. I guess it would look kind of cool for like people that are collaborating, because everything is real time, but I wouldn't do it. So especially like with the hypermaps, it only saves when the streaming is finished, right? Or for example, when you're dragging, it doesn't update the coordinates every coordinate, right? It only saves it when you let go of the mouse, for example, stuff like this. It's just like little optimizations. Ideally, you kind of understand what's happening, because if you just let it vibe code, sometimes it just creates some crazy things, and then you have to vibe debug. But yeah, there was a lot of vibe coding and vibe debugging, so yeah.
I've done a fair share amount of vibe decoding. That's the worst. When it goes off the rails and you just don't notice, because your like kid is dragging on your leg while you're trying to code something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. What else did you
Yeah,
want to show? Do you have any other highlights or anything else?
yeah. I would say one thing I wanted to build. I didn't get a chance. Adding mappings would be really awesome for because I had a long conversation with some of the devs about how to publish into public space, and I didn't execute it. So that would be like a really nice um, like development, I guess, for this app. Just being able to publish to the public space and just share this mind map with other people would be really cool. But yeah, what I say this mapping, you add a mapping and in the docs. Um, yeah, there's like a whole thing about making sure that the IDs for the mappings are correct, because you might have like a duplicate of an entity. So you have like a number. Number is like a parameter, property. Sorry, you have a property number, and if you have two different IDs for these properties, the indexer won't pick up, right, the correct one and stuff like that. Because one of the powerful features about knowledge graphs is that you can search by edges, I guess, and yeah, getting like the mapping right is important in this case. But yeah, I would say this is like a good progression. But by the way, correct me if I'm wrong about anything, because I am just kind of like parroting a lot of these concepts.
No,
I'm
you're doing
still
great.
very new to this. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. So yeah. So and yeah, publishing is not. I mean, it doesn't seem too complicated, but it's definitely like a next step. If for this app, I would say um, to me personally, like what will be more exciting is just adding like more collaborative features, getting other people in to collaborate on this would be like really awesome
Yeah, that was one of the
in
questions
real
in
time.
chat. Actually, it was like, what are the next
Mm-hmm.
things you'd like to build on it? Are you going to keep building on it? And if so, like, what other cool ideas, like, yeah, hooking up to like external groups or images
Mm-hmm.
or anything like that? Diagrams would be cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would say adding images would be really awesome, and just dealing with storage of that kind of metadata. But that would be really fun for sure. Like I definitely, to be fair, like I really like this project, and um, I don't like I like building tools that uh, I find myself useful, that I would kind of use in the future, and I genuinely like using this tool. I like using Hypermaps. Um, yeah, I don't know why it's broken. I might be actually on my end, like some API thing going on, but yeah, so it's I would definitely use this tool. If I would like use it a lot, I would do some tweaks. I would change it up, because I was thinking of making it more not just like for mind mapping, but maybe more of a presentation tool as well. That could be really cool. So like something more similar to, was it Miro? Miro?
Yeah, yeah,
The
Mirror.
app, something like this, right, where you can create like diagrams and have more control over the visual side of things. That could be kind of cool. Because like mind mapping is cool, but um, like strong collaborative visual type functionality in the app.
Awesome. Well, I thought it was amazing. I mean, you showed it to me. We're like, hadn't slept all night, and like I was blown away. It's a really cool tool. So I hope you keep building it. I wonder
Thanks, man.
how many credits does it take to use? Like, is it expensive to run?
Yeah, I would say it's. I need to double check.
Yeah, no, you don't have to check now. But just
Yeah,
curious if you know.
I need to double check. Yeah. It's not that expensive, because the model is not something like, I mean, it always depends on the model that you use. But it's not. I mean, it's not a super advanced model.
Do you know what
It's
model
just.
you're using actually?
I know it's 4.0.
Poro.
I'll just see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
I
4.0.
think with Vercel AI SDK, you can like specify the model, right? And
Yeah,
choose
that's
what
right.
you
Oh,
want.
it's a 4.0 mini.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, a little
Yeah,
lighter.
yeah, yeah. So it's a 4 mini, and yeah, it's a nice model actually for a mini for this kind of stuff where it's like you don't need like extremely complex compute. You just want like ideas, right? It's a powerful model. It's powerful enough for brainstorming. I would say I would use it as a coding model, but for this kind of app, it's like perfect. So yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you wanted to show off or talk about?
I think I think that's pretty much it. I mean, you can go through the app and kind of check it out, play with it. I mean, it's a very nice stack. Tailwind CSS, um, very easy to play with. Like a lot of the stuff, like I would probably export and like create a component of it, right? So like for buttons and stuff. So you could be good. Maybe use a library, proper UI library for this, like also Tailwind based. But yeah, there's so yeah, Hypergraph is cool. It's got everything. Like it's got authentication. It's got you know WebSockets. You can do all the operations you want, read, write. I guess yeah, unfortunately I can't show off anything else in terms of like visually, but there is also a debug view where you can view all the entities and delete them. There are just so many ways of displaying this data. It doesn't always, it doesn't always have to be a flow chart. But I think flow diagram is a really good way to represent this information. Yeah. Like even if with ChatGPT, you can display, like as you have a conversation, you can create a branch by, so you might be chatting with it and then you edit your answer. And every time you edit your, you edit your question. Every time you edit your question, you create a branch. And that also can be displayed as a flow diagram, but no, I don't know a single UI that is currently doing it. So you just have to use the arrow button to switch between different conversations.
Awesome.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
No, I've never seen it now.
No, yeah. Well, next time you use ChatGPT and you want to edit something, you just press the edit button and then you change your question and then you send it again. You will see like a little arrow, so you can switch between like the old conversation and new conversation.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. We can like flip flop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But nice. Hypergraph is more powerful because you can create. It's not just user conversations, right? That you can edit. You can edit the responses, and you can do a bunch of stuff, making it like quite flexible. It's like a true mind mapping app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know you like the deep think by ChatGPT as well, which is interesting. I think it might be kind of cool if you had a feature on Hypermaps where like the first one is you chose like a deep think, and it would be like, and then kind of build it out, right?
100%. Yeah, that's the original idea. Yeah, so the original idea was to also display thinking. The thinking is a separate entity. I totally agree. This is like a very hackathon-y like thing to do. Totally. Yeah. And then you can maybe branch out. I don't know if anyone has ever read the thinking prompts, but you can the thinking responses, but they're really interesting. Oftentimes, like AI will answer your question in a think tag, but then it will be like, "Hey, hold on, let me think about this again," and they'll just give you a wrong answer.
What's the model? Right, what's the model that you talk about often, which is good for like storytelling and like stories and books and stuff, conversation? Do you know what model I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there are a few of them, but the one that I like a lot myself is Command R and Command A by Cohere. It's a Canadian company. I'd say the language is just very natural.
What I would say would be cool is if you had a way to choose that model in Hypermaps and then just be like, hey, like write me a book about this and like just completely build out a storyline inside of the mind map. And then from there, you have this kind of like architecture of like a script or a movie or a book or whatever, right? So there's so many cool ways you could take this hypermaps, right? So it's really awesome.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. If like I'm like if people find it useful, you know, I can definitely you know, add more features, and it's got the versatile domain. We can yeah, could make it the proper like product.
Nice. Well, there's lots of chat here in the Discord. Everyone's really stoked to see what you built. So, yeah, so really awesome. Cool. Anything else you wanted to cover? Oh,
sorry.
it's fine. I think you got a good demo in. You saw everything.
Yeah.
So it just somehow with sync server.
Everyone jumped on the Hypermaps. They broke you.
Yeah, everyone's building. Everyone is vibe coding on Hypermaps right now. That's what's going on. We're like, yeah, awesome. Well, as always, like it's great to have you. This is your second time on Office Hours, so you are a returner. There's only a handful of people that have come on twice, so it's awesome that you.
Actually.
Oh, third time. Oh, wow, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Your third time. Well, that's awesome. Cool. Any other last thoughts or comments for anybody, or anything you want to shout out your socials?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Follow me on Twitter, 0xbeary, and yeah, I won't be posting many updates on Hypermaps, but I definitely want to be using it. That's the kind of thing. I feel like it's the kind of product that's I genuinely like want to use it, and I'll definitely be creating content with it in the future. So stay tuned, I guess. I was thinking maybe like it can be like a separate entity altogether, like Hypermaps, and just do its own updates and such. Right.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to hear people's feedback, what they want to see, if they actually want to use the app, what kind of features they would like to see and how they would use it, right? What kind of problems it will solve for them. Because at the end of the day, like it's a practical product, right?
Are your DMs open on X?
My DMs are open. You can actually reach out to me on Telegram as well. It's at verified, like a bear that's been verified. You can also like share it in chats.
Yep, for sure. I was just about to put it into the Discord here. What is your other one?
So 0xbeary, 0xbeary. It's my Twitter.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. Yeah, just put that in. Awesome. Well, awesome to have you on again. And as always, super impressed with your build. So great job. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the next hackathon and see what you build this next time.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks everybody for coming on. Again, we do this every week, and next week we're going to have Yaniv on from Geo actually to talk more about Hypergraph and give an update on some of the changes and talk a little bit about that. So please tune in next week, and thanks again, Barry, so much. Great to see you, and yeah, see you next week.
Yeah, great to see you too. Okay, speak soon. Okay, thanks guys.